All growing up, I was a very good kid. I think somewhere around age 14 when my family lost their home. And so we moved to one of the most drug-infested motels in Pomona, which was really hard as a teenager to go to school, to, keep up with the family life and the academics. And then shortly thereafter, I started to experiment with different drugs. First alcohol, then marijuana, then it led up to crystal methamphetamine very quickly. Unfortunately, from there, it was just a downhill slope. I don't think anyone grows up and says, when I grow up, I want to be an addict. That was not part of the path. Shortly after I had my son, I got sober for, throughout my whole pregnancy. I stayed sober maybe about 3 or 4 months, but unfortunately, because I didn't have that structure, I relapsed. And I didn't know, how to deal with life on life's terms. So as soon as there was a little bit of pressure, I cracked. Fortunately, I was given a chance with drug court. I had to fight for it, though.
What is drug court? Can you kind of explain what the program is?
It was my life-saving moment, It was either to get sober or to continue on to the path that I was going. They say it only ends 3 ways, and it's absolutely true: jails, institutions, and death, It is a very structured program. It teaches you the tools needed to stay sober. It helped me love myself. It helped me have that support from the counselors, from the judge, from the other clients that were in the program. It's been quite some time, but there's 4 phases, and with each phase it gets a little less, intensive, and you're able to adjust back into society. So that's really great about the program. I was really actually thankful for the structure because, living the lifestyle of addiction, there is no structure. Absolutely none.
Tell me about your process of getting into drug court. You said you fought to do it. What's your story?
Absolutely. I really did have to fight to get into drug court because unfortunately my whole entire record was just, petty theft with priors, commercial burglary. I don't know how I managed to do it, but every time I got busted, and there were a number of times, I was never arrested for drugs, and I never had drugs on me. So they did not believe that I was a drug addict. And when I went to court, just automatically what they wanted to do was send me to prison because I had already been a number of times. I remember being in my cell, and I remember thinking, I really need the help. So I called my public defender and I let him know my history. I let him know that I actually did have a problem and that sending me to prison was not going to help because it never helped before. Well, at the next court date, the DA didn't really want to hear it, and as a matter of fact, that's what he said. He said, she's not an addict, she's a criminal.
Right.
And I remember them arguing back and forth with each other. They were at each other's throats. She needs a program, send her to prison, and the judge asked them both to approach his bench. So they both approached, and they said, okay, how about this? Have her screened by the probation department and see if they think she's a candidate. And fortunately, the probation officer that screened me, she recognized my name, but never knew my face because I would get out of jail and I'd take off from the gate. But she noticed my name and she says, well, if you've been in the system this long, I feel that maybe there is a problem. So they gave me a chance. Very grateful for that chance.
When you were in the program, especially in the first phases, did you ever think you'd come back as a graduate and encourage people?
Never. Absolutely never. That's what was so amazing about it. I knew that when I got into the program and when I graduated the program, I knew that it was going to be, still difficult, but I knew that was the end of my addiction, that you still have to battle it daily, make sure that you stay on top of it. But I knew that I wasn't going to look back onto my old lifestyle, my old path. But I never thought that I would be able to come back and hopefully inspire others. I just had someone at my job recognize me from the drug court graduation, and I told him, give yourself a chance, you know, give yourself a chance at this life because you're worth it. Your family is worth it. Gosh, you have no idea where your life will take you if you give yourself the chance to get sober and stay sober.
Would you define yourself as a success story looking at your life now?
I would. Like I said, I came from the very bottom, you know, and of course there's always room for improvement. I strongly believe there's always room for improvement. I'm now a substance abuse counselor, which is also amazing. You know, I'm able to give back. I'm able to give back what was so freely given to me, and that is a great feeling. I've come such a long way, you know, and all of my friends, my family, they all tell me every day how inspired they are, you know, because I was able to take what was, you know, my life at one point and completely turn it around. My brother just got married and my mom was telling us how proud she was of her kids, all of her kids. Because out of the 4 children that my mother had, all 3 of us have had problems with addiction or alcoholism. And she was saying, Christina has made a complete 180 change. First she said 360 and I had to remind her, Mom, that would mean that I'm exactly where I started. So she's like, okay, you made a 180 change. And I was like, yes, I absolutely did, and I see that. I see that.